Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Burn This Podcast. It's Brandie Posey, the host of Burn This Podcast and founder of Burn This Records. Happy spooky season. I have another pre-sale for you. Okay, that's enough of that for now. My interview today is with Andy Iwancio, also a Baltimore gal who lives in Seattle now. Andy is where I'm from. We talk about how much we love our hometown, hon. Andy is also an amazing DJ and has a SoundCloud mix for you if you send her a copy of your pre-sale. It's available everywhere on Halloween. Enjoy my conversation with Andy Iwancio in order old school now.
We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn.
This podcast. We're just gonna roll. I'm gonna do like a slow Marin opening since he's gone now. We've outlived him as a podcaster.
I mean, it's nothing if not a hands on a hard body contest for a radio station.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you win is just your name on all you win is a thing you have to do every week.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But we're here. You and I have been friends for a long time, and we have a lot in common. We have like a lot of music tastes and everything, but also both from the beautiful state of Maryland that nobody knows anything about. So always nice to rep another hometown gal.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like wanted to do it with you, just because I figured if some of the Baltimore stuff wasn't hitting, you would know.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, you'd find all the Baltimore stuff funny, but you'd be like, okay, that's the Baltimore stuff people will relate to. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So you're in Seattle now. How long were you in Baltimore? How long have you been? Tell us your life story a little bit. Quickly, geographically at the very least.
I've been in Seattle since 2007.
Okay.
Before then I was about 20, I think 25 when I moved. And so yeah, I was about 25 when I moved, and I've been in Seattle since 2007, and then before that always in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew up like in Baltimore, not like
Yeah.
Baltimore County, not like Cecil County.
Can I just say I was just there with doing seeing family, but also was doing some guest sets for Canaan, and the host that weekend was this guy Noah Snyder that lives in New York now, but he's from Baltimore originally.
mm,
He's from the county, but he went into the city often. But it was funny because at one point we were all at lunch and Canaan asked some question about what Old Bay was very casually, and we both of our posture changed and we were like, well, actually, and like he was like, wow, that was so much Maryland just came at me super hard. And I was like, well, we're very proud of it here, but most people don't ask, so it's
I mean,
nice to get to talk about it.
he would understand. He's from just
Chicago.
outside Chicago. It needs to be said. I think
Yes,
Rosemont, right?
I believe so,
Uh,
yeah.
and but I'm sure they would. Anybody in Chicago would probably beef up the moment we start mentioning ketchup. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
not like
exactly. Well, I literally said to him, I was like, you have a lot of jardiniere opinions. Don't worry. Like, it's the same thing, hun. And then I dropped a hun on him, which was very fun. Which just feels good. Have you continued any of your like Baltimore traditions out in Seattle on next to another bay? I love that you refuse to be landlocked. That's beautiful.
I know. We like the water. I know. I need to be on like just near water
Yeah.
of some sort. But putting Old Bay on everything, yes.
Hmm.
I've learned to put it into curry. It like works really
Mm.
well with like you can also make a peanut sauce with it. That's pretty
Okay.
good. But I'm trying to think of our Baltimoreisms. Our accents will come out. My partner Linus, my
Hmm.
lovely, lovely partner, uh, our Baltimore will come out like really strong. Just at random times.
Hmm.
We just never like. I don't think you ever heal from saying the word theater like with a D.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I said Rick clocked me on it recently where I was just like I was like, "Oh yeah, they opened a new Rita's Water Ice downtown." And he was like, "Oh, you dropped a full on water." And I was like, "Oh, in the phrase Rita's Water Ice is like I can't say Rita's Water Ice, like that's not the company." So it really like I was like, "Huh, yeah, I full on it's a whole different word in that context for me."
Yeah, I think if people didn't know the mispronunciation, they're like, I guess you go up to a window and they either give you wood or ice.
Yeah, wood or ice. Like what a strange business proposal to pitch to a bank for a loan.
I feel like you have to. I feel like the yins I've never gotten used to. The
Yeah.
yins are just like that's the weirdest one. That's the weirdest localism to well, that's Pennsylvania. But
Mhm.
trying to think of my I grew up near Bel Air Road,
Mhm.
Belair. I can only say it as Blair Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
For sure.
uh and I feel like when you hear me say road, you can almost see it spelled RODE.
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
there's there's synonyms, but you can kind of hear me saying it RODE. When I try to tell other cities that I'm from Baltimore, what'll happen is inevitably they've seen in TV, they've seen The Wire, or they've seen Homicide, and how they respond is like, oh, it's real rough there. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Those TV shows are off the air, so clearly all the crime has been solved. Whereas a show like Law and Order, I went to New York recently. I was fearful. Any corner of any place, an episode of SBU could be happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they just, let's say there's like different Law and Orders. One was Criminal Intent. I like that one. That one ended after a while because they solved all those crimes. SBU still going on. The crime's so bad in New York that they're having to reel in musicians to solve the crime. We have Ice-T. I got jumped a lot when I was a kid here. Now, I say jumped because you use the word jumped because I was under 18. I always feel like that's the line of when you say jumped versus mugged. The one time I was mugged, like a kid stopped me and he was like, "What do you got in your pocket?" I like looked down, I like grabbed from my pocket, and I pulled my hand out, and it was just a cap for a free Sprite. And I gave it to him, and then he looked down at it. I felt bad. It's like that moment you realize that like poor people don't rob other poor people in Baltimore. That's not our crime. We have mayors that rob poor people. We have rich people. We notoriously all our crime is just people. It's all trash people trying to pull off crimes that you would at a gas station when you're 14 but you're 50 and in a position of power. Like we had a mayor that was ousted for gift certificate cards. Gift cards. That is some CVS shit. I worked at a CVS. That is some shit we would do. That is not some shit you do as mayor. That's also like you have a mayor that was famous for getting fake cocaine off the streets. Not even well known for getting good cocaine off the streets. Just fake cocaine. Now, this mayor, she wanted to do something for the community and for the children in the community. She believed in herself as an educator and not just as a person of power. She made her own self-published children's books. Healthy Holly Learns Vegetables. We got a couple people who helped learn from it. That's good. She sold an astounding 12,000 copies to the Children's Hospital. She delivered 150 copies. It was a children's book about learning the alphabet through vegetables. Now, what you need to know about Healthy Holly learns through eating vegetables about the alphabet said children's books have tops 100 words. Her book about the alphabet had typos. There are kids out there, the ones that did get the book and who are hurt long enough to learn the alphabet in a hospital, learn their AB5s. AB5s. That book did not help the children at all. If anything, the fake cocaine would have helped the children more. Because at least that was baby laxative.
You know what a funny thing is that I've noticed, like, because I've lived in LA for, it'll be 19 years in January. So technically I've lived here longer now than anywhere else. But a thing that happens now in Baltimore, and probably has for the last decade or so, but not since I've lived there, is that like there is a fanfication. I'm not saying that word correctly, but you know what I mean. Of the Natty Bow guy and the Utz girl are like, they are a couple that is shipped by the city, and it's like it's just brands like Barbie dolls kissing all over the city. They're pictured together. They are a couple. They are child free couple of Baltimore.
I don't mind it.
No, yeah, it's just funny.
Had you ever heard that? Have you ever heard the? Here's a weird one for you. Do you ever hear why the Natty Bow guy only has one eye?
No.
Because he lost it in a bar fight. I don't. I know it's not. I know it's just a joke, but it's a joke I've heard enough times that I'm like, it feels like lore at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen that. What's the image of the, what is it? I think it's the Natty Bow guy proposing to the Utz girl. I think that's like the most common. I think that's the most common graphic I've seen of it.
Yeah.
But did you see they had a Natty Bow lookalike contest?
Oh no, I didn't. That's hilarious.
Look it up. It's very adorable. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people are just like, somebody didn't draw a Pringles guy correctly. I feel like they're brothers, or at least
Yes.
they were in the same barbershop quartet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the Natty Boat guy is the Steve Wozniak, I think, of the duo. And
Yeah, I feel like it's them, and they're friends with, and probably have not good opinions with the Pet Boys. Like all five of them
Yes.
together, get them in a room, and they start saying a lot of words you can't say anymore.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like it's better to keep them separate. It's safer.
Unrelated,
Uh,
like, do you feel like if you felt like, is there candy that you would get at Halloween, the release date of this EP? Look at me cramming it in there. Got the
Hey,
tiny plug.
love that.
But is there a candy you think, like, I was thinking about how we don't need to know who owns some companies, and I feel like there are a number of candies where I'm like, I don't need to know that person's opinion, because it's probably,
Yeah.
they probably got some backwards views. Is there a candy you think has like an owner that would have some backwards views? Because I have my theories.
I absolutely believe that Cowtails does not believe in a woman's right to choose.
My feeling is, I say this from the belief that I think that I can't think that the politics of the candy corn people is good, right?
Oh, no way. No. Candy corn is full MAGA. Yeah,
I
it
think
feels
probably
that.
hold up a piece of candy corn and like point to the white at the top, and they're like,
Yeah,
you see it?
the most important part. I know when they made like the candy corn. Because do you think that like, I think they think the pumpkins are DEI, I think, in the candy corn universe.
Right. They're like, this, too much orange here. Too much orange here.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like is it the Mary Sue that has those, like, any of the candies that could remove your teeth if you tried to bite into them? I think, was it the Mary Sue, or does the peanut butter chews?
I think so. There's a Mary Sue's. There's a Charleston Chews. Those will pull your
those.
fillings out pretty hard.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Mary Sue's probably a Mary Sue. Look at this.
yeah.
Right there? It's right
Hey,
there.
we love it. We love to see it.
What has been nice is despite everything that's going on with me coming out as trans and then my dad coming out as trans, is that my brother's been very sweet about it. My brother's a Catholic priest, and the rest of the family is trans. And he didn't get into the family business. He's both the black sheep and the white lamb, if we're being honest. Over time, we've grown closer and we spent time like hanging out and stuff. And weirdly, the thing, despite me being an atheist and him being a Catholic, the thing that we've done the most is that we've gone to haunted houses a lot. For whatever reason, we love roadside attractions, so we keep ending up in haunted houses. And I keep thinking, like, this is just one of us trying to prove the other wrong. Like, we're going to see a ghost and then ask, whoa, which one of us is right? Like, I pointed it out to him. He thought it was very funny. But, like, as time's gone on, I feel like I've upgraded myself to agnostic. Put that on my tombstone. When I die, don't say rest in power. That's too much work. Unless you can charge your phone on my headstone. In which case, then yes. Then I rest in power. But I'm like agnostic. I don't know what's happening afterwards. I'm non-committal. My headstone's probably going to say, no worries if not. What brought us together, besides being born from the same place, that was part of it, but is that we used to joke about having an uncle, a dirtbag uncle. And, like, we would joke about this fake uncle. And it was the first, like, kind of improv that I had was, like, us joking back and forth. And I think that's most people growing up in Baltimore. We would make excuses for him not making it to family functions. So our Uncle Elmer, Iwancio, wouldn't make it whenever there was, like, a party at a friend's house, a party at an uncle's house or a cousin's house. Uncle Elmer couldn't make it for some other reason, like a lot of our other uncles, really. But we joked about this uncle that didn't exist, and I couldn't remember his name for a long time. I did for a while. I was like, what was the name of that uncle? And so then I texted my brother, what was the name of our fake uncle? My brother doesn't text back suddenly, and that he's a priest. He's not just a priest, he's a friar. He's like the monk, like the brown robes, wearing the brown robes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I work at a vitamin store. He works at a church. I mean, technically we should get more along. I mean, we're just two different shops in a town in a role-playing game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's just over at the church with the spring and the holy water, and I've got the potions. If vampire hunters were real, we'd get along. It'd really bring us together. I'd just be like, Mr. Belmont, come in for your potion. My brother here, the friar, he'll heal you for 10 gold pieces. My brother does not like it when I ask him to heal me for 10 gold pieces. But I texted my brother about our fake uncle. I was like, what was the name of our fake uncle? I can't remember the name of our fake uncle. And again, my brother's a monk, a friar. So it takes him forever to respond back to texts. I imagine because he's illuminating them by hand. But he got back to me right away. It's like, Uncle Elmer. And then it turns out Uncle Elmer, he's been using Uncle Elmer to sign up for loyalty plans all over the country. National parks all across the country have an Elmer Iwancio. And I remembered that why I last used Elmer Iwancio for when I worked for CVS here in Uncle Elmer was known by CVS because Uncle Elmer died 5 separate times, as far as CVS knows. He was a Christ-like man, I think. And Uncle Elmer being brought back from the dead from CVS, then Elmer Iwancio also having a loyalty program. I think that's really amazing that what's brought me and my priest brother together was fraud.
This is coming out on Halloween. The album drops. It's available for pre-sale right now when people are hearing this. Yeah. What are you? Do you have any Halloween plans? Is Halloween a big holiday for you?
I feel like I think I consider it the real trans pride. I mean,
Yeah.
like how because it's like the holiday that like a lot of closeted trans women can try out clothing that they've never worn out in public without getting judged. It's a
Mm.
weird thing to it's a weird thing to think about that like that it was the year. I mean, like when I was a kid, I was like, gonna be a girl this Halloween. We're like, you were a girl last Halloween.
Yeah.
It's it after a while it just becomes well, it I think that my usual plans are pretty boring. I think that like
Mhm.
I usually just hang out at home or DJ somewhere. I'm DJing a couple weird parties the night of, and so I'm excited for that. I don't thankfully I don't move any circles where somebody's going to be asking for the Thriller remix.
Yeah.
And but what's on your Halloween playlist? What's on yours?
Um, I like that Season of the Witch song a bit. Like it's hard because I feel like I think there's two playlists, right? There's like the fun dance one, but then there is like you just want one that can be kind of chill and you can put on in the background that's like, oh, this is spooky, but it's not like aggro in a way that but I like I think some Fleetwood Mac can kind of fall into that a little bit.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
think Rhiannon can be like a spooky song. Back to Black, Amy Winehouse, I think can kind of
Okay.
that's I don't know. Uh Don't Fear the Reaper falls into that category kind of. Um Psycho Killer, Nick
Oh,
Cave.
good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I think
I think
there's stuff like anything that's like in that realm, but like I like a playlist where you're like, oh, that's why that song's on here. I like a little like, oh, that's fun, you
I
know?
somebody put on a playlist that was all horror movie music, but then it
Hmm.
started going into weird territory, and then I remembered that like, then all of a sudden it was White Lines, and I was like, why is this on here? And I'm like, oh, Shaun of the Dead has White Lines, so like, what's it's the like
Mm.
old electro classic, which is like White Line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, but
That's
then it like
fun.
I was rewatching it reminded me from the playlist. I really love a bunch of the I'll throw like some of the I really like the Lost Boys soundtrack and
Yeah, that's
some of
fun.
like Cry Little Sister or maybe a People Are Strange remix I like to
Mm.
throw in. I've yeah, it's a lot of like get into horror movie territory just to like even it out, but I
Mm.
mean, you've got your obvious I there's like a couple great selections from the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack that's
That
got like a
sounds
lot of punk
fun.
and weird shit.
I think you can get a lot of David Bowie in there because
Yeah,
that's a good Halloweeny like oh space aliens like that's kind of in that vibe. Anything kind of paranormally I think is in the vibe.
I I
Hungry,
had a there's a couple there's like a couple weird goth dark wave artists that I have a bunch of stuff I from playing goth nights and stuff, but
okay.
one of the things that was good is that somebody made like a weird synth pop dark wave version of the theme song to the like theme bed music from Unsolved Mysteries. The
Mm,
really spooky like
yeah.
uh
You know what I really miss? I miss like when CDs and records were more of a thing, those like Halloween albums that were like a very basic dance beat, but then would just have spooky sound effects over it. That would just be like do 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 do, and there'd be like a door opening and a scream, and it just like that would just be like the thing that you would play all night at your house if you were handing out candy. Like those, I think, are a very specific weird time period album that you're like, this isn't even a song. Some guy made this for $50. Like,
I
I love those.
it was definitely like one of those, like when you get those scary like noise albums, or
Yeah.
you just play it on speakers outside of your house and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of but there's like a bunch of just like really, there's a bunch of really great just Halloweeny kind of like goth music that I've just built up a bunch of that, and I usually play a lot of that, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm curious what I'll play. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I think it depends on like the crowd. I mean, like there's definitely some Rolling Stones, I think, that kind of fit in there. Um
There's a couple misfits. Like,
Misfits stuff can get in there, I think. Yeah, there's some AC/DC I think that could fit because you got Highway to Hell and him like Hell is involved.
yeah,
Hungry Like the Wolf. There's a wolf.
that's a good
A
one.
wolf is spooky. That's a fun thing to throw in there too.
Wolf is,
A wolf
I
is spooky.
yeah, just any reason to play what is it, American Werewolf in Paris, or it's American Werewolf in London? It's
London.
London, yeah.
Yeah, it's London. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, Ozzy this year especially. I feel like
Yeah. Yeah,
putting
yeah.
some Ozzy in the mix, I think, is probably always good.
I have like I think a drum and bass version of War Pigs that's pretty good.
Mm,
Um
nice.
I don't. Did you know they almost had that was speaking of a Marin interview, they were interviewing Geezer Butler, and I didn't realize they almost had a saxophone player in Black Sabbath. Did you know that?
Man, no, I did not know that. I wish that we had had the saxophone solos of a Black Sabbath album. That's fun.
I would hope that somebody like uses that to like to do some cover versions of it. I
Yeah.
think the second or the biggest reveal is that I'd never heard it, apparently just never heard a British person
Mm-hmm.
mention a saxophone player, because they call it, he was like, we almost had a saxophonist. They call them saxophonists. How classy is
No,
that? Like
I
a ska band
a
has
saxophonist. A
saxophonists.
saxophonist
A
is God.
they probably say a trombonist.
A they throw in they're like trombotanist, and you're like, no, 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 no. Yeah, get your king away from my brass section. That's how that
And
feels to
like
me.
trumpeter's the only thing we can agree on.
Yeah, exactly.
Trombonist.
A
Trombonist.
trombonist, a trombonist. Okay, sir. That's funny. I
Uh,
can't see the British fucking with a trombone in general. The Irish could. I don't know if the British can handle the phallicness of a trombone in general.
there's a really great they have like weird they have really fun weird almost Dixieland kind of bands that are all like tribute kind of pub rock bands that
Mhm.
are all over the UK, but there's one called Mr. Wilson's Second Liners, and specifically they play is just like a tuba. It's like a tuba, a little walking set of drums,
Mhm.
like I think like two, they have a saxophonist, a trumpeter, and then I think a trombonist,
Mhm.
and they play entirely rave covers. They just do
Mm.
classic rave music as just like this weird kind of Dixieland band looking thing, and it's just really fucking great. I love Baltimore. Parts of Baltimore have never changed for me. I was catching the train not too long ago, and I was waiting for the light rail, and a guy came up to me, and he had $1 out, and he was outstretched, and he was like, "Voici." And I was just like, I was pretty sure this was gonna be like a magician. And the moment he like poked it out, my wallet was gonna disappear or something. But then it took me a minute, and I realized that he was a French tourist, and he was asking me how to pay for the train, and I couldn't communicate to him that I've never paid for the train. And It's honestly would have been my backup plan to pretend that I speak French. If somebody stopped me for my mission on the light rail, then I was trying to communicate to him in the same bad French that I was planning to use, like voici je m'appelle liberté. And then like the train came and I tried to beckon him onto the train, like he didn't know how the train fucking works. I'm trying to like beckon him onto the train, and I just waving him onto the light rail as like the train pulls up. I felt like animals trying to get the kids to come back to Narnia. Transportation everywhere has gotten like a little more intense but weird. I was in an airport and I saw a lady, no lie, wearing 3 cowboy hats. And I was staring at her and I was like, well, she's gotta be the pilot on this Frontier flight. And I'm like staring at her like, why is she wearing that? And at the moment that I'm like thinking in my head, why is she wearing that? She turned and looked at me and she was like, why are you wearing that? Because I was wearing a mask. Now, I was wearing a mask mostly because I didn't want to get sick, but also I mostly wear a mask in the airport so I can talk shit about people's kids. I'm just like walking around like, that's not your dad. That baby has too many teeth. Just like talking that much shit. She was like looking at me and she was like, why are you wearing that? And I knew to let this argument go by because I could tell from the hats this wasn't her first or second rodeo. It was her 3rd. Maybe on her way to her 4th.
You obviously are a big music fan. You recorded this album in a record store in Baltimore. What's the name of the store again?
True Vine Record Store.
True Vine Records.
It's owned by the there's a weird through line to the album, and I kind of don't want to reveal it, but it's owned by somebody, my friend Kirsten, who I'd come back into contact with. Somebody who worked and I befriended when I went to Baltimore School for the Arts.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah, there is a nice reveal there. Yeah.
They started, yeah, they heard me on the Bananas podcast and got back in touch with me. And so I've been a bunch of them came out to the album recording, and my friend Kirsten has a very specific laugh, so it's a really Baltimore laugh. It definitely sounds like it's definitely a Baltimore crowd. And then my I have like family in the crowd. It's a really funny, like, it's a real set of specific faces that I'm like looking at when I was recording the album. But I don't know, it ended up really fun. But yeah, it's really interesting to come full circle with the with art and stuff, and like get into comedy, but then also I love just all of the arts, I guess. And yeah, I do music, and I've been collecting more records recently, and while I'm traveling for comedy, and so to get to like, I don't know, to like get all of that in the essence or the nature of the room is very special. But like, yeah, record stores in general are really fun. The way that dudes act in record stores is very sweet, because for the most part, if you're not like coming in and asking for a Chapel Roan vinyl and them going like, we don't carry that, or they already sold out. It's actually been parents come in with their kids to record stores now and let them pick out vinyl, and that's super sweet.
That's cute.
But yeah, did you grow up with any of the record stores in Baltimore specifically? Like,
well, I mean, so Soundgarden, Baltimore. My brother actually built the stage in the back of Soundgarden now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the guy Brian that owns Soundgarden, he actually came to one of the Canaan shows that I was doing a guest set on, and he came up to me afterwards, and he was just like, I know your brother. He's talked about you a lot. He built the stage next door." And then we're like, the club down in Fells Point is like right next to Soundgarden. And I was just like, Oh, you're the guy for you own you're this is an institution, and it was great. I got to take Kyle there later and be like, you gotta this is like this is what Baltimore's about. It's just like it's such an art-filled city, and it's still cheap enough to like live there and be able to pursue your art. And I think that creates a lot of interesting artists that like in so many different forms. And yeah, Soundgarden was a big deal for me. Record and Tape Traders was like a small chain that like we always that was a big deal. The guy at our Record and Tape Traders in Severna Park was his name was Jesus, and he had a lot of opinions about music. And it was just like my first grumpy dude that I didn't have a crush on him, but he was like my first grumpy dude that I was like, oh, this guy is like cool. Like the first cool grump I knew, I think, was Jesus at Record and Tape Traders.
A friend of mine, Lee, and I went around and we went to, in that like kind of dorky, let's have a road trip kind of way.
Hmm.
We went to every single record and tape traders.
Aw, that's
And
awesome.
they were really great. They had a
Yeah.
great selection of like used CDs and stuff. Rest in
Yeah.
peace. But
Yeah.
there's so many record stores in Baltimore now, and it's kind of sweet to see.
Hmm.
There's a really great one up in Hamilton that I think I recommended to you called Wax Atlas.
Yep.
They do like small local shows too, like noise and weird improv. Because that's like the weird thing about Baltimore. Did you know that like Baltimore is like has a huge improv music scene?
Oh no, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Huh.
That's the thing
Cool.
we're known for the most, I think. Like
Hmm.
we have all these like I'm gonna use the word highfalutin kind of
Yeah.
art spaces like Normals, the Red Room in the back of Normals, records and books. Another
Hmm.
place I thought about recording the album,
Red
but
Room's
the
great. Yeah.
uh but yeah, it's and the even the people who own True Vine, they focus a lot on improv music too, and they
Hmm.
like do a lot of weird noise shows and
Hmm.
stuff there. I think some of the people in Death Set are the ones that like are involved with that. I don't know. There's so many weird. What are the small weird bands from Baltimore that you know or that you followed?
I mean, not I'm number one, I'm bad at bad names. And number two, I like moved away when I was 18. So it's like that I wasn't
Oh, okay.
going to and so I know more like Philly ska, more like that world a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, but like yeah, the Baltimore scene I wasn't as like keyed into because also like when I could borrow my mom's station wagon, it was mostly to go see shows at like the 9:30 club and every once in a while at like Auto Bar, but it they would let me go into DC more, like unsupervised basically.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
like there's definitely a bunch of just like bands that I realized I like they're the Baltimore bands I almost always end up having a weird accidental relationship with, an noise conspiracy
Oh yeah.
and
Hmm.
like Death Set. And I was apparently at I like the I apparently was at a basement show at a friend's house in high school, and I didn't get to go to house shows all that often, so I felt real cool because it was a bunch of and it was all the art school kids, so
Hmm.
like the music was especially like really good, but like
Hmm.
it turns out two of the guys from Animal Collective played together for the first time in that basement,
Oh,
and
fucking awesome.
I was there.
That rules. Oh God, yeah, I forgot they're a Baltimore. I just looked up the list because I was like, what? Who else is from here? And I'm like, I didn't. I All Time Low is a Baltimore band. I was not aware of that at all. Also fucking Jimmy's Chicken Shack. I don't know if they
I
claim
was
Baltimore, but they are that area to me for sure, hon.
I was about to say, yeah, Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Hmm.
The other one that I didn't know about was, or had remembered, or they might not even, I think they're from Baltimore, and I really came back to them not too recently because I heard a cover from them. I forget a cover of what. Lake
Hmm.
Trout. Have you ever heard of
Mm.
them? Uh,
Yeah, I think I have actually. I can't place it, but I the name sounds familiar.
they're kind of jam bandy, kind of not, but like the I came back to them because I saw like a live recording of them
Mm-hmm.
online and just heard a cover, and I guess it was just never really appreciative of them at the time, but they're really
Yeah,
fucking good.
that's awesome.
Um that's
Fucking
a jam bandy drum and bass kind of ska act too. Anyway, go ahead.
hell yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, apparently Turnstile is from Baltimore, which I didn't
Yeah.
know. But they're having like a pretty big moment. I feel like I've been hearing a lot about them like this last year. Like I've heard about them before, but like I feel like they're really kind of like they're making moves currently, which is nice.
It's really charming how much they like rep Baltimore, and
Yeah,
like to see such like a wildly interesting band with just that pulls from a I think in Baltimore you had to have like you couldn't play one kind of genre. I feel like you had to be able to play like a couple different genres to kind of
mm-hmm.
like make it in Baltimore, or at least like we had it wasn't like you got somebody who's a guitarist that also plays jazz, or you got a drummer
Totally.
who's also in punk bands, and that like I think that's really been plays into the improv thing of just like that plays that like cross genre thing, just Animal Collective as well, like all
Mm-hmm.
uh really is really interesting like bed to our scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really heartening to see Turnstile blow up so much, and then to see them play like hometown shows in the
Mm-hmm.
parks in
Yeah.
Baltimore is also really sweet to see. um I don't
No,
know,
for sure.
it's nice to be able to cheer on Baltimore bands.
No, it makes me happy. Also, I'm gonna just name out. We also got Ballyhoo, motherfucking Drew Hill, by the way.
Drew Hill,
Also,
Cisco, yeah.
we got Cisco. There's quite a bit. I find I I really blew Kyle's mind by showing him one of those benches that says like Baltimore, the greatest city in the world, because he just started laughing, and I was like, I mean, we are Charm City. It's like an incredibly charming place with a lot of great people are from here. I like the it is so multicultural, and I think that really creates such an interesting mix in a lot of ways. Like the comedy scene is so interesting too, because I remember like doing coming through and like just doing like a mic one night, and like the just range of experiences that people talked about on the stage, because you had guys that like were like living in the projects and shit currently, like telling joke like open mic comedy about like their fucking neighbors and shit. And I was like, this rules. I don't hear this perspective in LA, but it's like a small city, a small scene. So you're just like getting more lenses in so many different ways. And I'm sure the music scene's got to be the same way.
Yeah, and then speaking of a hometown boy done good, Stavros Stabby's from
Stabby baby. Yeah.
he and it came to find out that he did comedy at a school talent show for the first time, and that's how I got my start was
Aw,
I
I
did
love
like
that.
there's a clip of me in like a Hawaiian shirt, a weird not even Hawaiian shirt, but too decorative, a comedic amount of decorative button down shirt, doing comedy when I was like in third grade.
Yeah.
Uh Joy, my parent, taught me a bunch of Stephen Wright jokes,
Aw.
and then I had a Steve Urkel impression. But
Perfect. Perfect for
but
set.
but yeah, between we have Stavros, and there's a handful of other comics, but the scene is so much better than it used to be. We only
Mm-hmm.
really had like a this Seattle had its comedy factory, I think was
Mm-hmm.
what was called, historically the site of a really apparently there's some Mitch Hedberg story from him that like of a really terrible night.
Yeah, I bet.
But we've come a long way, and then the hilariously badly named Magooby's joke what is
Oh,
it, Magooby's joke house.
Magooby's Joke House, which I remember my mom clipping me an article about the opening of Magooby's, and I was like, "What an embarrassing, strange name! This is the name that somebody would make up for a comedy club." But now there's the Port, which is downtown in Fells Point, and that is a great spot. And I'm sure Magooby's is out in the county. That's county shit for sure.
Yeah, that's Timonium. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we still have, yeah, we have Port, we have God, there's one more that I'm forgetting. Like there's a couple other like small spots that have opened up, and
Hmm.
there's like a number of improv theaters, and
Yeah.
that's really interesting. But I think like the Baltimore has created so many weird, so specific things that only exist there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is that, like, there's like Baltimore has water ballet for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and then we have the Rock Opera Society. Like, there's so many like weird there's so many like weird small like artsy things that are born out of nothing
I
that like
mean, the home of John Waters. What do you expect? You know, he set the
uh
pace for us a long time ago.
yeah, it's just it's really super it's such an interesting art town still, and the people are there just like are like, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do I guess it is what Patton Oswalt calls the test of the small town, where
Hmm.
you're like, either I'm gonna stay here and do cool shit, or move away and do it elsewhere. But the like intentionally staying and making a cool art scene is something so many people have done there,
Hmm.
and that's just so heartening to see that like that kind of thing persists even when there isn't a through line of these scenes, you know.
No, 100%. And I'll say, I also, it's amazing to move away and do cool shit and get to bring it back and bring your cool shit there, which is what you're doing this album. And it's a delight, and it's a love letter to the place we're from, and to, and to you, and all of your things and everything. And it's really great. Um, it is available right now for pre-sale. For those that are listening, you can pre-order it right now on Bandcamp, on iTunes, or on Amazon. It'll be available everywhere to stream on this Friday, October 31st. A spooky. Andy, where can everybody find you on the internet? Find everything that you want them to see.
Andy Iwancio on almost all of the things: Blue Sky, Threads, uh, Instagram, and SoundCloud. I've been making music, and uh, I might, if people do pre-sales and show me pictures, I might send them some music I've been making. But
Listen to that, every folks. That Andy's a great DJ, so get in there. It's
I'm
worth it.
reasonable.
I'd say, come on, yeah. I'm gonna toot your horn. I'm gonna saxophoniac,
Sex, yeah,
saxophonist. I'm gonna saxophonist your horn a little bit here.
I'm a DJ optimist.
Yeah,
DJ
exactly.
optimist? No, that's terrible. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll dub in something better.
Well, go pre-order Old School, everybody, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.